Kamala Harris might become the 47th president of the United States, but the 44th hasn't pledged his support for the likely Democratic nominee. Journalists and politicians have been wondering what to make of this historic snub. President Joe Biden made an unprecedented decision on July 21, 2024. He dropped out of his re-election campaign. A handful of other presidents have refused a second elected term, but the last to do so was Lyndon B. Johnson, all the way back in 1968. Something like this has never happened so close to the election before, as Biden made his announcement less than 4 months before polls close on November 5th. With the Democratic National Convention taking place in mid-August, the party has to lock in a choice, and fast. Just minutes after telling the world that he would not seek re-election, Biden endorsed his Vice President Kamala Harris to be the Democratic Party's presidential nominee in his place. The decision was praised by many Democrats, who also pledged their support for the former senator.
I'm watching you, kid. I love you.
I love you, Joe.
However, another Democratic power player has been less enthusiastic about the choice: former President Barack Obama. In his first statement since the announcement, Obama didn't mention Harris at all. Instead, he wrote in part, "We will be navigating uncharted waters in the days ahead, but I have extraordinary confidence that the leaders of our party will be able to create a process from which an outstanding nominee emerges." Obama's silence has drawn attention from plenty of pundits. Stephen Nelson, a Washington correspondent for the New York Post, speculated that as a respected leader among Democrats, Obama could hurt Harris's presidential ambitions. As he wrote, his lack of an endorsement of Harris could damage her candidacy and implicitly encourage new candidates to emerge. However, those in Obama's inner circle don't seem to think that he's trying to tip the scales in any major way. According to the Seattle Times, people close to Obama said not to read too much into it, and had no alternate candidate in mind when he made the decision not to immediately endorse Harris. On social media, some highlighted Obama's decision to not name Harris in his statement, instead using the word nominee. The 44th president wrote, "For Joe Biden to look at the political landscape and decide that he should pass the torch to a new nominee is surely one of the toughest in his life." Others have suggested that Obama made a strategic choice to hold out, so he could swoop in with his endorsement if there ended up being a contested convention. A source familiar with Obama's thinking told MSNBC similarly, saying, "Just like he did in 2020 once Joe Biden earned the nomination, President Obama believes he will be uniquely positioned to help unite the party once we have a nominee, lift up that candidate, and do everything he can to get that candidate elected in November." The source noted that though Obama said supportive things about Biden during his 2020 presidential campaign, he didn't officially endorse him until after Senator Bernie Sanders dropped out of the race. In a piece for the New York Times, journalist and former White House correspondent Glenn Thrush revealed, "Mr. Biden is a deeply prideful man, and he has never fully forgiven Mr. Obama for quietly backing former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in the 2016 campaign."
Vote and get your friends to vote. Get Uncle Joe to vote.
According to The Reporter, a former White House official who speaks with Obama regularly said that the former president wanted a spotlight to be on the current president, saying, "Mr. Obama wanted Sunday to be about Mr. Biden, a celebration of his accomplishments, and does not feel pressured to act hastily." In the wake of Biden's announcement, Harris has so far received the support of Bill and Hillary Clinton, Senator Elizabeth Warren, Representative Jim Clyburn, California Governor Gavin Newsom, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, and others. But as Politico noted, some Democrats competing in races in battleground states across the country have remained quiet on the issue. The outlet concluded, "One group clearly unwilling to immediately signal support for Harris are the nearly 30 Democratic candidates designated as top-tier challengers by the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee." A House Democrat incumbent told the outlet that voter sentiment about Harris isn't great, pointing out in the primary 4 years ago, she didn't last very long. That said, it doesn't seem like there will be a contested convention after all. Less than 48 hours after Harris became a presidential contender once again, a survey from the Associated Press revealed that she had the support of enough delegates needed to secure the nomination. Whether or not Obama and the battleground Democrats endorse her in the near future, it looks like Harris will be the next Democratic nominee for President of the United States.